the thing is that, nothing stops you. You were just mentioning about Annapurna, what happened last year. There was a rescue also. There were Indians who were missing, and you also lost one of your teammates, an Irishman who's Noel
Hannah, correct.
Yes, and he passed away. And, you began with saying, there's a family, we are a family for next 2 months. Family can be people's weakness.
Right.
But there's no space for weakness there. How do you, really see death?
Family is actually not weakness. Firstly, I don't look at family as weakness. I know in what context you're saying it. Emotional baggage does sometimes hinder you from taking decisions clearly. But I think family gives you strength. Strength to rise every day and to see the sunrise every day. And if you're lucky enough to see the sunrise every day, you're far more luckier than the ones who did not wake up today. And so was the story of Noel Hannah. He was a mentor of mine, inspiration of all of us in the mountaineering community from South Africa. He was living in South Africa, but he was a typical Irish lad, about 52 years old, but we lost him while on our way back from the summit. We successfully summited the mountain, but there were 2 more Indians who were lost. There was an Indian girl climber who was somewhere between the last camp and the summit. There was an Indian climber called Anurag who was stuck. He would fall into a crevasse and he was being rescued. So it was a complete, in all honesty, you can call it a shit show on the mountain. Excuse my language, but that is what it was. And you have to take hard decisions, and you have to take difficult calls at times, and nothing can justify your actions probably when you're sitting from here and taking those calls up there. But trust me when I say this, when death is looking straight dead into your eyes, right, you are left with very little options, and the human spirit from itself, your survival instinct does push you and does take decisions and makes you familiar with versions of your own self, which you never thought you were, or which you never thought you could have taken, right? So it's such a that's what I'm telling you. It's such a wholesome experience climbing a mountain. It's not just about the physical fitness.
Or you are different. Do you have a different mindset than?
I take these 8,000 meter mountains as it's like a lab for me. I always say this thing that the mountains outside help me climb the mountains within. It helps me break those barriers, break those silos, break those walls, which I've built up from within myself, within my own head. And to see a version of Arjun which I've never seen, to be able to be a better version of what I was yesterday, to try and be a little bit better than that at least today. So that's the kind of mindset which you require, constantly self-actualizing, constantly getting a grip of what kind of resources do you have, constantly trying to push your limits, constantly trying to strike a balance, between your emotion and your health. So obviously it gets very, very difficult, and there are difficult calls to be taken. But I think climbing mountains is a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's not all about scary stuff, right? The perspectives, the views which we get to see are so beautiful. Once you're 8,000 meters up above the sky, right? 8,000 meters, almost 8 kilometers from where we are sitting right now. If you go straight up, people look at Burj Khalifa and they go like, wow, what is this, right? But if you just look at any 8,000 meter peak, it's like almost 8 times of Burj Khalifa. And looking at such a tall feature, right?
You're competing with nature.
And then you look at that and it just changes your perspective about everything. And then you reach the top and you look at everything which you're looking from down. And you can actually see the earth bending in front of your eyes, right? When you're at 8,000 meters. So for the first time in your life, you can see the earth's curvature in front of you, like you're no less than an astronaut. And then it's such a beautiful feeling, I feel.